Have you ever known exactly what you needed to do and you genuinely wanted to do it, but for some reason you just couldn't get yourself to do it? Like maybe you cleaned your kitchen instead. Maybe you answered all of your emails. Maybe you made another to do list. Maybe you watched another YouTube video. And by the end of the day, the one thing you actually wanted to do still didn't happen. Look, if that's ever happened to you, I don't think it necessarily means you don't care enough or that you're incapable of following through. I think you might be trying to complete the task from the wrong energy. So one day I had this realization recently because I kept asking myself, why can I follow through in some areas of my life, but then in other areas I completely freeze? It's like there are moments when I can make a quick decision, move forward and get things done, but then there are other moments when I know exactly what I need to do, but somehow I keep circling around. So for the longest time, I thought I had a consistency problem. I thought maybe I thought I needed to become more motivated, more organized, or better at managing my time. And look, sometimes we absolutely do need more structure. And sometimes we need to make a decision and create a plan and actually honor our commitments. But I realized that there was something deeper happening underneath all of that. And maybe the problem was in that I didn't know what to do. Maybe it was about who inside of me was trying to do it. So this actually changed everything for me because I started noticing there were times when I was trying to build my business from the same part of me that just wanted somebody to tell me everything was going to be okay. I was trying to make important decisions from the part of me that was terrified of making the wrong choice. I was trying to put myself out there from the part of me that wanted everybody to approve of me. And I thought, well, of course that feels hard. Those parts aren't supposed to carry all of that. So that's when masculine and feminine energy started making so much more sense to me. And not masculine meaning men and feminine meaning women. We all have both energies inside of us. And I don't think either one is better. I actually think they are teammates. They just have completely different jobs. So, for example, the feminine part of us dreams, it feels, it notices what really matters. It imagines what is possible. It creates, it connects, it collaborates. It receives ideas, inspiration, and desire. It is a part of you that says, this is what I want, this is what feels meaningful to me, and this is what I want to create. The masculine part of us takes that vision and says, beautiful, let's protect it, let's build it, let's make a decision, let's put it on the calendar, let's take the next step. The feminine creates the vision and the masculine creates the structure. And this allows the vision to become real. So look, neither one works very well without the other. Feminine energy without healthy masculine support can have beautiful ideas, dreams, and desires, but nothing has a container. Everything stays in the imagination. Masculine energy without feminine connection can become like rigid and controlling and overly focused on getting things done without even asking whether those things are meaningful. So I started realizing that a lot of my struggle with follow through wasn't because I didn't have the ability to take action. It was because different parts of me were trying to lead at the wrong time. And when I realized something else, even feminine energy isn't just one thing, it exists on a spectrum. And different versions of our feminine energy can show up depending on how safe, grounded, or supported we feel. Like sometimes I'm showing up as this little girl inside of me who is terrified of getting it wrong and she wants reassurance. She wants somebody else to decide. She wants to know Everyone will still love her if she makes a mistake. She wants safety before she moves. But at other times, I'm in this playful, creative, feminine energy where ideas are like flowing and I feel curious and I feel excited and everything feels possible. This is the part of me that can create a vision. Like it can imagine a new offering, write something beautiful, sing, dance, or dream about the life I want to build. But then there is a more grounded and embodied feminine energy where she is present. She can feel what is happening without immediately reacting to it. She can nurture herself. She can receive support. She doesn't need to like rush because she trusts herself. And then there is the wise feminine energy that can zoom out and see the bigger picture. She understands timing. She understands that not everything has to happen immediately. She can trust life in a very surrendered and faithful way. So those are all feminine energies, but they are all very different expressions of it. So if I'm trying to record a YouTube video from the scared little girl who's worried about what everybody is going to think, of course I'm going to overthink every sentence. If I'm trying to send an important email from the part of me that is terrified of disappointing someone, of course I'm going to rewrite it like 15 times. So another example is if I'm trying to make a business decision from the part of me that wants absolute certainty before moving, of course I'm going to stay stuck. So look, these parts, we don't need to be judged or forced. They need to feel safe. They need like compassion. They need reassurance. They need to know that even if something doesn't go perfectly, we are still going to be okay. But once that part of me feels safe, I don't ask her to run the business anymore. That's when the healthy masculine part of me needs to step in. And not the controlling masculine, not the harsh masculine, not the part of me that says, you should have done this already. What is wrong with you? I mean, the grounded masculine, the part that lovingly says, I've got this. We don't need to have every answer. We don't need to be perfect. We already know the next step and let's just begin. So, do you see the difference? Like the healthy masculine doesn't overpower the feminine. It is supportive. It listens to what she wants. It creates safety around it and then gives it direction. The feminine says, I want to create this. The masculine says, great, when are we going to do it? The feminine says, like, this matters to me. And then the masculine says, then let's protect time for it. The feminine would say something like, I have this idea. And the masculine would say something like, let's turn it into one clear action. So one dreams and the other builds. One creates meaning and the other creates movement. And when these two energies begin working together, instead of competing with each other, follow through starts to feel completely different. It doesn't feel like you're dragging yourself through life. It feels like you are working with yourself instead of constantly fighting itself. This is also where structure actually becomes very important. Structure isn't the enemy of feminine energy. Healthy structure is what allows your creativity, desires, and visions to have somewhere to go. So a calendar can be a masculine structure. A deadline can be a masculine structure. Choosing one priority instead of 10 can be a masculine structure. Turning off your phone and giving yourself like an hour to focus can be a masculine structure. The question is whether that structure is supporting you or punishing you. So healthy masculine structure says, this matters, so I'm going to create space for it. Unhealthy masculine pressure says, you have to prove your worth by getting this done. And those feel completely different in the body. And if you notice, like one feels expansive and you can breathe deeper, and the other feels like constrictive and shallow breathing. So, okay, here is something I want you to try the next time you know what you need to do, but still aren't doing it. Instead of immediately asking, why can't I just make myself do this? Just pause for a moment and ask, who inside of me is trying to do this right now? Is it the scared little girl or boy? Is it the people pleaser? Is it the perfectionist? Is it the exhausted version of you? Is it the creative version of you who has like 101 ideas but no structure? Or is this a moment when your grounded masculine needs to lovingly take the lead? And then ask yourself a question. What does this part of me need so that I can move forward? Maybe the scared part of you needs reassurance. Maybe the overwhelmed part of you needs the task to be broken into one smaller step. And maybe like the creative part of you needs a clear container. Maybe like the exhausted part of you just needs rest. Or maybe you already know what to do and your healthy masculine simply needs to say, okay, we're going to start now. So, for example, your micro action today is to choose one thing you have been avoiding and make it smaller. Not the whole project, not the perfect plan, just one just one visible action. So, for example, open the document, write the first sentence, send the message, like put the appointment on the calendar, set a timer for an hour, record the first 2 minutes of the video. So, like, following through does not always begin with a huge burst of motivation. A lot of the time, it begins with creating enough safety for yourself to move and then creating enough structure to keep moving. And I don't think people who follow through are people who never feel fear or resistance or uncertainty. I think they just learned how to recognize which part of themselves needs compassion and which part of themselves needs to lead. So, like, it's because following through isn't about becoming a different person. It is about becoming more aware of yourself. It's about learning how to support the parts of you that feel afraid without allowing those parts to make like every decision. So you are not trying to get rid of your feminine energy so you can become more productive. You are learning how to let your feminine energy create the vision and let your healthy masculine energy protect it, structure it, and bring it into reality. And look, like maybe the real question isn't why can't I make myself do this? Maybe the better question is what energy does this moment need from me? Because once the right energy is leading, following through doesn't have to feel like a fight. It can start to feel like self-trust. If you follow through the end, thank you for watching. If you would like to work with me, check out the YouTube homepage, links on the YouTube homepage. So yeah, thank you. Bye.